Hi, in this clip we're going to show you a lesson plan that we created for the language structure interrogative pronouns. The plan is designed for a lesson duration of 60 minutes and for students that are in the 5th and 6th grade.
Instead of calling the lesson interrogative pronouns, which probably would make the pupils more confused and perhaps uninterested, we have chosen to call the lesson Celebrity Interviewer, and all its activities are designed around this theme.
So, let's start looking at the actual lesson plan. Step 1. Warm up. Duration 5 minutes. The lesson is introduced with a quick two-person warm-up game called Who Am I? In a nutshell, the game is a yes and no question game, where the pupils work with their bench neighbor. They get a random playing card with a picture and a name of a celebrity. The purpose of this step is firstly, it is a great way to get the pupils speaking and thinking in English. Secondly, it gives you as a teacher a smooth and logical transition to introduce the lesson theme, and even more important, the usefulness of knowing how to formulate a good question.
Step 2. Introducing the lesson's theme. Duration 5 minutes. At this stage, we need to introduce the theme of the lesson, and what better way than showing a 1-minute clip of an actual celebrity interview. After the clip, you may ask the pupils what type of questions that were asked in the clip and if they can come up with any examples of their own. Purpose of this step: it gives the pupils inspiration by showing examples. Secondly, it gets them reflecting on the reason why interrogative pronouns could be useful. The teaching style in this step is inductive.
Step 3. Introducing the grammar. Duration 20 minutes. Now we have come to the important part of introducing and presenting the grammatical side of interrogative pronouns. You should start off by slowly and methodically presenting each interrogative pronoun by writing them on the board and explaining them using the following method. First, write the specific pronoun. Second, present a scenario of when it could be used. Give a relatable example that the pupils understand. And lastly, give an example of a scenario where it wouldn't work. We will recommend the following order when introducing the interrogative pronouns and limiting them to the following 5. Which, what, who, whom, and whose. The purpose of this step is for the students to learn, firstly, the basic knowledge of the grammatical rules. Secondly, useful scenarios for when interrogative pronouns are used. And lastly, it will provide them with the tools to start formulating their own questions. The teaching style of this step is deductive.
Step 4. Introducing an individual exercise. Duration 10 minutes. At this step, we introduce an exercise where they get to prepare for their celebrity interview. We start off by doing this together on the board so that the pupils will get the idea behind their exercise. We choose 5 different areas that we as an interviewer are curious to know more about. We then form our questions to get answer by using the interrogative pronouns, and we must use all of them at least once in our mind map creation. Purpose of this step. First, to give the pupils clear direction and expectations on the task at hand. Secondly, to connect the grammatical presentation with their new role as a celebrity interviewer. The teaching style of this step is deductive.
Step 5. Individual work. Duration 15 minutes. After the introduction, the pupils get to work individually by creating their own mind maps, by following the steps from the previous instructions. For pupils that find this too much of a challenge or that have special needs, we have prepared a less challenging exercise paper where they still get to use the interrogative pronouns in a similar fictive scenario. Purpose of this step. First, to give time to practice formulating questions using interrogative pronouns. Secondly, to practice using mind maps as a tool for mental preparations.
Step 6. Wrap up. Duration 10 minutes. In the final step of the lesson, we go around the room to hear examples of questions formulated by the pupils. They get to read at least one of their questions out loud, and you as a teacher may role-play the answer. This will be one part of your formative assessment of the pupil's learning. For students that don't feel comfortable doing this in front of the class, a later opportunity will be offered to present to you as a teacher or in a smaller group. During the next lesson, they will have time to prepare a similar mind map, but then for asking questions to a person at home. This will be your second part of formative assessment of the pupil's learning. We end the lesson with a short collective evaluation of the lesson by showing off thumbs. Firstly, was it fun? Secondly, which interrogative pronoun did you find the most useful? And finally, what do you still think is confusing? Thank you.